Everyday Superpower, where we talk body language, relationships, game, everything in between. Put you on some games, some food for thought, yeah? You are an independent man. Given you are living independently, given you have left your parents' household, don't fall into the tricks of them saying you need to stay home and save your money and you're fine to live there until you're 30 and blah, blah, blah. No. You're a boy at the age of 32 years old, given that's the case. Get yourself out, learn how to live your life, learn how to look after yourself, learn how to wipe your own ass. Yeah, I don't care if you're paying rent or anything. No woman, honestly, respects the fact that you're there. And if no woman's respecting you, definitely no man who has walked on planet Earth and has left the house and is living outside the house will respect you either. Right? Don't fall for the shit about them saying, oh, well, it's expensive. Blah, blah, blah. Make it work, yeah? Put yourself under pressure. Now, I say that to say this. When you depart from the household, you are a step further from cutting the cord with your mother, given that she's still present, right? This is an uncomfortable and necessary process for any man, and most men don't do this. That's not to say you don't have contact with your mother and you don't adore your mother and you don't look after your mother to whichever extent. But what I'm saying is you need to cut the cord in the sense that you are now an independent man. You need to look within oneself, see the detriment that your upbringing has placed upon you. Your needs, your necessities, your values, your reactions, your emotions, your triggers, your inner child. Nobody gets out alive, right? With light comes darkness. 50% of you and 50% of your upbringing, whether you deem it or whether it's perceived societally as the perfect upbringing, 50% of that is buried deep away because that child didn't get what they want, or they got an abundance, or they got a scarcity of whichever degree of any dynamic ever. Let alone trauma and on and on and on. Now I say that to say this. If my mother can't control me, if my mother can't tell me what to do, can't orchestrate my decisions, can't go to the shops to put clothes on my back, can't put food on the table because it's me taking full ownership and responsibility as an independent man, how can any woman on planet Earth control me to any extent? Okay? Economic. If she's getting told what to do by the boss, and she says, yes, sir, yes, daddy, and then she comes home to you and she starts saying no to you, how can she say yes to the next man and not to you? This is the same equivalent. If my mother, the closest woman to me in my life, can't tell me yes or no, why do you think you can? You can say no to your missus, you know. The moment you think she's overstepping a boundary, the moment you think you're being tested to some extent, whether you are or not, the moment you think you are, the moment she asks you to do something you don't want to do, don't do it. Don't do it. There's sacrifice to be made in relationship, but the moment there's an overstepping of your boundary and you understand there's an overstepping of your boundary, and if you're not consciously aware and applying it in such a manner and perceiving it in such a manner, what you do is you feel this gut feeling that there's a little bit of resistance, you're a bit sluggish, there's a slight pinch of anxiety that has been provoked within the demand, the direction, the question, the statement, the action on her behalf. In a resolute manner, you respectfully say no, or you don't do it, or you say, do you mind not speaking to me like that? Oh, well, she'll argue with me then, blah, blah, blah. No, she won't, because you won't respond in such a manner. You'll give her some space to free herself up. And most importantly, if you are dating currently, or if this relationship goes to shit and you continue dating other women in the future, you pick up on these things within the first flipping date. You learn to educate yourself, to understand and read people, and in a expression of witchcraft, see the future of these women through how they speak and how they act and how they feel they can cross this boundary in the next, whether it be 1 time or 5 times or 10 times in this hour-long space, 5-hour-long space, 2-day space, 1-week space, that you're not going to be picking up a woman who feels like she can argue with you because you've said no. And you might exist in a community of sorts where the traditional relationship is the man metaphorically elevating his woman to higher ground. But when that man does so, she metaphorically looks down on him, perceives him as lesser, starts to continue looking upwards as the woman does as she dates upwards, starts to continue looking upwards to who the next man is. Who's above here because he's below me. He chose to do this. And these men make it seem fine to be a pushover. They make it seem, they come and they talk a good game. They'll speak to you and they'll talk about other relationships and say, oh, he's whipped, or he's, you know, he shouldn't be doing that, and oh, they're always arguing and oh, blah, 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 blah. And they come to you in this engaging fashion, in this understandable communication of what is right through the eyes of the masculine, but in practice they crumble like a pastry such as the next man, because their actions don't align with their words, or at the very least their actions don't align with what they truly believe. And you can't be that man. That woman's going to see that, oh, he talks that he's going to do this, he talks that he's this man, but he doesn't behave like it, he doesn't act like that. He's a disappointment. He's not the man he puts himself out to be. I'm going to tell my friends about this. And trust me, she does talk to her friends. She does talk to the boys and the men around her about you when you have shortcomings in relation to the persona you apply to oneself. If I went through the friction that was necessary to find independence and leave my mother when she could have continued to look after me, when she could have continued to nurture me with pride, with joy, as the mother does. If I chose to disconnect and place myself in the lion's den in order to become someone, in order to become a man, in order to become strong, independent, observational, constructive, creative, in order to elevate my understanding of oneself in necessity of the progression of the man, of the masculine archetype, why would I let you, as the woman, as the girl, as the feminine archetype, to reapply the chains I have rid of? This doesn't come from a position of resistance to the woman. If anything, this comes with an amplification of the care, the attention, and the love I can provide to her that she needs ever so desperate in this world of men who don't know any better, who she's not come across before. She won't leave you when she says no, when you say no. She won't leave you when you put a boundary up. She won't leave you when you exclaim that she can't do something within reason, you know. It's what she needs. She comes as a chaotic force. You come as order. That's a masculine and a feminine principle. That is reality. She enjoys spontaneity. You might think, oh, well, that's just some esoteric nonsense. What do you mean chaos and order and all this and that? Where'd you read that? But the thing is, when you're dating with a woman, when you see these women in the world, do they like spontaneous dates? Do they like being surprised with gifts? Do they like being swooped off their feet and going to foreign locations on a whim? Do they like trying new things? Is that exciting to them? And to the men, do they like living on a mattress with a television and a can of beers and a PlayStation, and that's good enough for them? Does the man need not much to get by? Does the man like order? Does the man like consistency, understanding, patterns? If you were to deny that, then you'd be incorrect. But this is how it manifests in the world, chaos and order. And you as a man need to provide order, because if you allow her to have her way, she's going to introduce your world to the chaos and the drama and the impracticality as far as your pursuit is concerned. And it's going to fuck your shit up and she's not going to respect you. Full stop. Game as always, click like and subscribe. Peace.